Gosh dang it, dude. I don't want to do the hat. I kind of do want to do the hat. It's like 90 degrees. Almost like 1 in the morning. Why am I doing this at 1 in the morning? What is wrong with my life?
Well, the frick don't.
Whoa, easy on the swearing, buddy. We're not doing that one. Anyways, hey, it's me, Monkey Manus. Hand gestures going crazy. Anyways, today we're doing a little bit of reaction video, not video, maybe videos. I don't know. We're watching one of the videos from RedSignal archives. It's like an analog horror type junk. It's very stupid. I figured we would react to this because I want to react to this. It's late at night. I'm home alone. So yeah. Anyways, I figured I would react to this and ruin my night. So that sounds fun, does it? Anyways, we have like a whole catalog of videos. T-Wex? Okay, you gotta be kidding me. Don't follow the. This is like brainwatt analog horror. Like
tung 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 sahur.
The moon woke up. Did someone else make this? This seems like it's okay. Whatever. All right, let's do this one. This one seems. That looks vile. Anyways, but my recent like ads that have been annoying me is on Spotify. If you know, you know. Samsung, if you know, you know. But if you don't know, the Samsung guy basically have brainwatt words like they told me to touch grass, but like if I can find it, which I most likely will not, I'll show it right now.
Someone in the chat told me to touch grass, so I took my Z Fold 7 outside and kept playing. Stay locked in, streak stays alive.
But since I'm probably not going to want to do that, just take my word for it. It's horrible, and it's been pissing me off lately.
Destination Center. Please listen closely and follow the instructions.
I don't want to zoom in. This is making me uncomfortable. I don't know why it's making me so uncomfortable. The video hasn't even started.
Provided. This is not a drill. We are issuing this advisory regarding a pattern of reports concerning individuals.
This is a weird service announcement. This is weird. This is weird.
Returning to family homes after unexplained absences. If you have experienced the return of a parent or guardian.
If I'm the description of like a 9-year-old or something, bro, I am not gonna be watching TV. I'm not gonna be watching, especially this junk that is gonna scare the crap out of me.
Following a period where their whereabouts were unknown, please pay careful attention to the following information. Over the past 10 days, our dispatch centers have received an unusual number of calls from children and young adults reporting concerns about parents who have returned home after brief disappearances.
Ooh, that makes me uncomfortable. I'm actually getting uncomfortable from this. I'm twitching, so God got me. So I'm not worrying too much about it, but it still makes me uncomfortable. I'm not even gonna lie.
These reports began filtering in on November 18th, when a teenager in Millbrook called to report that her mother had come home after being missing for 3 days. But something felt wrong. The caller could...
3 days. 3 days is crazy. Also, 3 days? Do you have a dad or something? Like, if my mother was missing for like 3 days or a day, we would be like, hey, where you at? Where's she at? She would probably have a missing report. Anyways, horrible freaking family that did not care about their freaking mother that much. Moving on.
Explain what exactly had changed, only that her mother seemed different somehow.
Hell no.
We initially categorized these as standard missing persons follow-ups, but the pattern of calls has become impossible to ignore.
Okay.
The first documented incident occurred on November 15th.
SCP freaking junk happening right now. Call the SCP Foundation. They got this handled.
In the suburb of Oakdale. A 12-year-old boy reported that his
You're not my dad!
You're not my dad!
Father had returned home after not coming back from work for 2 days. When questioned by responding officers, the child insisted his father was acting strangely. The man appeared normal to authorities, answered questions appropriately.
Okay, so besides the uncanniness of your parent just acting like a little bit off and you're just like, you good? You good? Like, that type of junk, but like, hey, if they're not holding me, I don't know. I guess it's not that bad.
And showed proper identification. However, the boy remained adamant that this person was not his real father.
Oh, I'm tripping.
Child Services was contacted, but during their assessment, they found no evidence of abuse or deception. The man knew intimate family details, had access to all accounts, and even the family dog seemed to recognize him.
Okay, so if he's not doing anything wrong, then how is this scary? Okay, we have like 12 minutes left. Chill!
The case was closed as resolved.
Okay.
A couple of days later, more calls came in. A woman in Pine Ridge reported that her elderly mother had returned after a brief hospitalization, but her behavior had completely changed.
Okay.
The mother, who had been vibrant and talkative before her disappearance, now spoke in short, measured sentences. She knew all the right information about family members.
I don't know. I just think it's all old age.
Remembered shared experiences, and even cooked the same recipes she always had. But something in her eyes was different, the daughter explained.
Lizard person? Just saying.
She described it as looking at someone wearing her mother's face like a mask.
Okay, that's disgusting.
The woman called back 3 times that day, each time more distressed, insisting that whoever was living in her mother's house was not the person who had raised her.
I hate the
Later that same week, emergency services received a call from a teenage girl who locked herself in her bedroom after her stepfather returned from what he claimed was a business trip.
Okay. I mean, I guess. Alright.
She told the dispatcher that the man downstairs looked exactly like her stepfather.
Even has a scar.
Sounded like him, and even had the same scar on his hand from a childhood accident.
Okay. How... I'm so confused. Where's this gonna go?
But when he hugged her, she said, his body temperature was wrong. Not cold, not hot, but somehow hollow. She described feeling like she was being embraced by something that was just pretending to be warm.
Lizard person?
The girl remained barricaded in her room for 6 hours, refusing to come out until her biological father arrived to pick her up. When officers questioned the stepfather, he seemed genuinely confused and hurt by the girl's reaction. His story about the business trip checked out, and he had receipts and photos to prove his whereabouts. One of the most disturbing calls came from a 9-year-old boy whose mother had returned after being missing for nearly a week.
A week? Where's the dad? Where's the other family members? What were you doing that entire week? I'm just saying. Even if I was like 9 or something, I would totally freaking call my freaking family member. I swear I heard something. I'm tripping. I'm tripping out. I'm tripping out. Okay. Cool.
The child called from a neighbor's house, whispering into the phone that his mother had come back wrong. He told the dispatcher that she made
that's disturbing. That does not make me feel good.
his favorite foods and said all the right things, but she never blinked anymore. He had counted, he said, timing her with his watch. For over an hour, she had not blinked once. When he asked...
But would that be enough for me to call on the phone? I'd probably think she's dead or something. I'd probably think she's dead. I guess she's breathing.
Asked her about it, she smiled and said she was just tired. But then she went to sleep with her eyes open, staring at the ceiling all night. The boy said he watched her from the doorway, and she never moved, never shifted position.
Weird that you would just watch her. I mean, yeah. I'd probably lock my door, maybe? I don't know.
Never even breathed heavily like she used to. She just lay there, perfectly still, eyes wide open in the darkness. Another case involved twin sisters, both in their early 20s, who reported that their father had returned after a 4-day absence. The man claimed he had been visiting his brother in another state, but the twins noticed that all his clothes were exactly the same as when he left, with no signs of travel or wear. More
I mean, sometimes you just have to wear the same clothes. Like, I'm just saying.
disturbing, they said, was that he seemed to have perfect knowledge of conversations that had happened while he was supposedly away. He referenced things the twins had discussed privately, mentioned phone calls.
Okay, yeah, that would be very, very weird if a parent just mentioned stuff that we had privately or whatever, and it would be like. Anyways, if my freaking like parent if my parent just was like, oh yeah, I remember all this stuff, I was like, are you spying on me? Like what?
They had received, and even knew about a package that had been delivered in his absence.
Huh?
When they questioned him about this, he became agitated and insisted he had called to check on things, but there was no record of any calls on their phones. The twins reported feeling like they were being watched constantly, even when their father was in another room. Based on these reports and dozens of similar cases, we have identified several distinct behavioral patterns that tend to emerge in sequence. We are sharing these observations to help you recognize if you may be experiencing a similar situation. Stage 1 typically involves a period of missing time, usually between 2 and 7 days, where the parent or guardian is absent without clear explanation. During this time, attempts to contact them through normal means often fail. Phone calls go to voicemail, text messages are not returned, and their typical routines are completely disrupted. Family members often report feeling an unusual sense of unease during this period, as if something terrible is about to happen. Stage 2 begins when the individual...
I don't know what to say. When are we going to get to the good part? Like, when they're going to start stabbing the freaking... chasing them with a knife. Like,
returns home. Initially, everything appears normal. They have explanations for their absence, though these explanations often seem slightly rehearsed or vague upon reflection. They demonstrate knowledge of family routines, personal history, and intimate details that would be impossible for an outsider to know. However, family members, particularly children, begin to notice subtle differences in behavior, speech patterns, or physical mannerisms. These changes are often difficult to articulate, but create a persistent...
What's wrong with Jimmy back here?
Damn! Look at my forehead!
What's wrong with Jimmy? What the fuck going on with Jimmy? He got that effed up head. He got freaking crushed by one of those like pressurized crutches or whatever. You know, the ones that they're like, let's throw a PS5 under there and then freaking crush the entire thing. Like, that what happened to Jimmy's head. Dang, like a melon.
Feeling that something is fundamentally wrong. Stage 3 involves the emergence of more obvious anomalies. The returned individual may display perfect knowledge of events that occurred during their absence, despite claiming they were elsewhere. They might exhibit unusual physical characteristics, such as altered body temperature, changes in breathing patterns, or other physiological differences that family members find disturbing. Sleep patterns often change dramatically, with reports of the individual sleeping with their eyes open or remaining motionless for extended periods.
I don't have...
Stage 4...
I'm sorry I'm not talking through this. Not very, YouTuber of me to not talk. I mean, it would be very YouTuber because Sniper Wolf would do the same thing. So, I don't know. But I just don't have anything to say.
Represents the most concerning phase, where the returned individual begins to exhibit protective or controlling behaviors. They may become insistent about family members staying close to home, expressing unusual concern about their safety.
Okay.
Some families report that the individual seems to be monitoring their activities more closely than before.
I mean, that's weird, but it's not like startling. It's not like, oh, okay, that's weird. That's weird, buddy. Why are you doing that? Like, sure, if that's freaking staring at me through the doorway, I would probably be a bit weird. Put it out.
Demonstrating knowledge of private conversations or activities that should have been
okay, activities, private activities. Well, if you're a teenager, it's gonna be a drug out here. It's gonna be a drug out here.
Observed. During this stage, other family members, particularly children, often experience persistent feelings of being watched or followed. If you suspect that a family member who has recently returned home after an unexplained absence may be exhibiting these
8 minutes in, how's this effed up? Like
patterns, please take the following precautions immediately. First, Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, do not dismiss those feelings as imagination or stress. Children, in particular, seem to be more sensitive to these changes and should be believed when they express concerns. Second, document any unusual behaviors or statements. Keep a written record of things that seem out of place, including specific quotes or actions that feel wrong. This documentation may be crucial for authorities to understand the full scope of the situation. Do not confront the individual directly about your concerns. In several cases, direct confrontation has led to escalation and more aggressive monitoring behavior. Instead, maintain normal routines while quietly reaching out for help. If possible, arrange for children to stay with.
How is this like scary? Like at first it was unnerving, but like I don't know. As it went along, it's like yeah, that would be weird.
Trusted relatives or friends until the situation can be properly assessed.
I don't see how this is a bad.
When making these arrangements, use code words or indirect communication, as there.
Okay, I guess if you're like one of these people that are just very like, okay, that's not my parent, like type junk, I guess that would be like pretty effed up. And
reports of returned individuals demonstrating unusual awareness of phone conversations and text messages. Contact emergency services using the special reporting line that will be provided at the end of this broadcast. Do not use standard emergency numbers, as these calls require specialized handling. When calling, use the phrase Family Concern Protocol to ensure your call is properly routed to trained personnel. Be prepared to provide detailed information about the timeline of the absence and specific behavioral changes you have observed. Most importantly, do not remain alone with the returned individual, especially overnight. Multiple families have reported that the most disturbing behaviors tend to emerge during nighttime hours, when the individual may believe other family members are asleep. If you must remain in the same home, ensure that you have a way to contact help immediately, and that other people know your situation. In the past 48 hours, we have received reports that this phenomenon is spreading to new communities. Dispatchers in 3 neighboring counties have begun receiving similar calls, and the pattern appears to be accelerating. Our investigation teams are working around the clock to understand the scope and nature of these incidents, but we currently have more questions than answers. What we do know is that in every case investigated so far, the returned individual has no memory of their absence and becomes increasingly.
That's freaking weird. Not the video, but it's freaking weird. I was getting goosebumps on my back. I don't know why. That was weird, man.
Agitated when questioned about the missing time. DNA testing has been inconclusive, and standard medical examinations have revealed no obvious abnormalities. However, psychological evaluations consistently show subtle but measurable changes in cognitive patterns and emotional responses. Perhaps most disturbing is the fact that in 7 cases, family members who reported these concerns have now gone missing themselves. Their disappearances follow a similar pattern
okay, yeah, that's a bit disturbing.
to the original absences, with no clear explanation for their whereabouts. In 2 of these cases, the individuals have since returned home, but their own family members are now reporting the same concerns about changed behavior and strange knowledge of events that occurred during their absence.
Okay.
We are treating these incidents as a potential public health emergency and are coordinating with federal agencies to develop appropriate response protocols. Until we have a better understanding of what is causing these phenomena, we strongly advise all citizens to remain vigilant and report any similar experiences immediately. Remember, your safety and the safety of your loved ones depends on taking these warnings seriously. If someone you care about has returned home after an unexplained absence, and you notice any of the behaviors described in this broadcast, do not hesitate to seek help. The fact that they look the same, sound the same, and know intimate details about your family does not mean they are the same person who left. This message will be repeated every hour until further notice.
Every hour?
For emergency assistance with family concern protocol.
Wait a minute, if you don't want the families to know about this. This is like a very effed up thing to do, because... Okay, whatever.
Calls. Call the dedicated hotline at the number being displayed on your screen.
Let me call it right now! Okay, that was, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It made me uncomfortable. It wasn't, like, scary. It just made me uncomfortable. I think it was mostly the heart beating and all that, and stack noise that made me freaking wanna die. It wasn't really scary. It wasn't really scary. Like, the idea at first was like a bit like, oh, what was that? Hello? The idea of like, oh, hey, your parents coming back home and they're just not your parents. That's disturbing. That is disturbing. And they're acting like subtly differently. That is disturbing. But I don't know. I think it's just how they approached it that wasn't really making me go, oh god, that's scary, guys. Like, I don't know. It didn't really do it for me. Maybe it did for you, but it didn't really do it for me. I'm sorry that my commentary was like not like YouTuber-y, I guess. It wasn't like me. I felt like I didn't really bring much to the table for that commentary. I'm sorry. Don't please say, don't call me Sniper Wolf in the comments, I swear. Yeah, I don't know. If you guys know if there's any other, like, within this channel, if there's any, like, actual, like, good videos in this channel that actually are worth, like, that interesting to watch and not just kind of just sloppy, because that one was kind of just, like, sloppy. I don't know how to describe it. It was kind of sloppy. So, anyways, if you guys want to see more, smash the like button. Also, subscribe. My subscriber count has been stuck at like 400 for like the entire year, basically. So, you can change that today. Anyways, make sure to like, subscribe, all of that I said. Comment what video in that channel that I could watch. Oh, heck. It could be unrelated to that channel. It could be a separate video. Just comment the name of the video or whatever, and I'll react to it. I'll freaking react to it. I haven't done reactions in like a long time, so I don't know. Maybe I'll jump back on the bandwagon. I don't know. I don't know if I will. I don't know. If you guys want more, just say so. Just say so. Comment anything that you want me to react to. Most likely you don't want me to react to anything. You don't know me. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, and pick off.